This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good day, time check for you 12 hours 2. My name is Amrita Koshal and this is your main newscast. In the headlines, President Ali commissioned 2 wells at same location in 12 years as the cost moves from $63 million to $152 million. Guyana is still lacking technical leadership expertise to maximize oil gains, says IDB report, and PAHO urges stepped-up efforts to tackle COVID-19, says focus must be on most vulnerable as cases increase. $15 million more to fix rehabilitated CJIA runway, and PNCR in fighting stalls legal challenge to Oil Fund Act. And finally, fishermen feared death after boat capsizes. Stay tuned for more details.
Unlock free premium channels on PlayGo from March 14 to 20. Plus 2 gigabytes PlayGo data every day. Free! 16 premium channels. Stay entertained with OWN, T-Nick, MTV, and BET. From international news to home improvement skills. Endless laughter plus new recipes. Watch BBC, Comedy Central, HGTV, Discovery, Food Network, and so much more. All you need on TV right in the palm of your hand. PlayGo. Simply more entertainment.
And now for your news in detail. Notwithstanding all that has been articulated over the years about the need for a modernized legal framework for the oil sector, Guyana will still face additional bottlenecks to execute its role in the oil sector due to an inadequate supply of sector-wide leadership, management, and technical talent required. This is according to the Inter-American Development Bank, one of Guyana's key lending partners for decades. IDB experts noted that while the number of Guyanese with formal training in oil and gas policy, economics, management, law, and engineering has increased in recent times, the level of technical expertise and institutional leadership required to effectively ensure the maximization of economic and social returns from the resources remains at a nascent level. Moreover, the bank said developing the capabilities to manage and regulate an oil-producing contract will surely overlap with those required for other oil blocks currently under exploration, as well as other transcendental capacities to be handled by the government, such as rights management, long-term gas commercialization, and marketing of the government's share of oil production. And in other stories, the PPPC administration on Tuesday commissioned its second well in 12 years at the same location, Lusignan, on the east coast of Demerara. Commissioning a new $152 million well station at Lusignan was President Ali. However, this was not the first time that Ali assisted in commissioning a well there. The first well was commissioned in February 2010 when Ali was Minister of Housing and Water, and it had cost the then PPPC government some $63 million to build. 11 years later, in 2021, that well collapsed. At Tuesday's commissioning ceremony of the new well, GWI CEO Sheikh Baksh said that the collapsed well could not be repaired and a new one had to be built. He blamed the previous coalition government that had taken power from the PPPC in 2015 for this and told the audience that it had run down GWI's inventory of spares and could not maintain the old well for 5 years. And moving on, with $927 million allocated for the Chedi Jagan International Airport in this year's budget, the Ministry of Public Works is looking to spend some $15 million to facilitate construction and remedial works on the runway of the country's main port of entry. This is according to a recent invitation for bids issued by the ministry. Only last September, the extended runway at the CJIA, coupled with a $518 million instrumental landing system, was commissioned. The 3,360-meter expanded runway forms part of the $150 million CJIA expansion project, which has been ongoing since 2012. The airport expansion contract was signed in 2011 under then-President Bharat Jagdeo. As the country awaits the completion of the project, which falls way below expectations, taxpayers are still obligated to repay a loan of $138 million to China, which forms part of the contract sum. And moving on, the relatives of a 28-year-old Suraj Daneshwar, a fisherman of railway line Rosignol, West Coast, Berbice, are in a state of despair after he went missing following an incident out at sea, some 3 miles from the Three-Door Sluice fishing complex at the Edward Village on the west coast of Berbice. Reports are that Daneshwar and boat captain O'Neill Deputron left the Three-Door Sluice on Tuesday, 15th of March, around 5 hours, and headed out to sea in a 36-foot wooden fishing vessel equipped with a 40-horsepower engine. However, at 8 hours 20 on Wednesday, the captain visited the Blairmont police station and reported that about 21 hours on Tuesday, 15th of March, while returning from sea in the vicinity of Bath Settlement, West Coast, Berbice, a large wave hit the boat and caused it to capsize. As a result, he and Daneshwar fell overboard. And we now tell you, from all indications, the coalition opposition is no closer to making good on its promise to file a legal challenge to the controversial Natural Resource Fund Act. This is despite the call for the issue to be dealt with expeditiously. APNU-AFC Shadow Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Roysdale Ford, noted that the court case is still on the cards for the APNU-AFC. The matter is not being rushed. Ford added that while the case is being examined and prepared for court by a team of highly qualified lawyers, he could not say exactly when the matter will be filed. And though Ford gave no specifics as to what the issues he referenced are, a source close to the party indicated that the PNCR, which is the main component of the coalition opposition, has been suffering from major infighting in recent months. The source noted that this has led to stymieing of many things on the party's agenda, the legal challenge to the NRF Act among them. And the time has now moved on to 12 hours 10. We will return with more news for you shortly after the break.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
And we now return with more news in detail. After the U.S. government warned its citizens that the market areas in Guyana are a haven for criminals, the Guyana Police Force embarked on an exercise with the Georgetown Mayor and City Council to make them safer. According to a statement by the force, Police Commander of Georgetown Division, Assistant Commissioner Simon McBean, met with MNCC's Chief Constable, Mr. Gafour, on Wednesday morning as they sought to implement strategies to bring public safety to the market areas. Accompanied by officers, they even conducted a walkabout at the Starbrook Market area to map out strategies for collaboration and policing in and around the public thoroughfares. The force even promised to immediately provide resources to MNCC to have a visible police presence in the areas mapped out and to continue collaborative efforts to make the local markets safer. Minister of Home Affairs Robeson Ben, however, said that the move was not prompted by the embassy's statement. He called it a mere coincidence. And we now tell you 26-year-old Eon Gonzalez, called Belly, made his first court appearance in the number 51 Magistrate Court to answer to a murder charge. The charge read that Gonzalez murdered 21-year-old Lakan Chatterpal on Wednesday, the 9th of March at Crabwood Creek. Gonzalez, who was unrepresented, was not required to plead to the indictable charge, and bail was denied. He was remanded to prison until May 31st, 2022, where he is expected to appear at the Springlands Magistrates Court. Police report detailed that Lacan had returned to Guyana from the USA to attend his brother's wedding. At a family gathering, 3 uninvited men showed up and were asked to leave after they reportedly began using an illegal substance. The men reportedly became annoyed and decided to damage the vehicles that were parked a short distance away. An argument ensued when Lacan and other relatives confronted the men. At some point, there was a scuffle, and Lacan was stabbed to the lower abdomen. Police had arrested 2 persons, including Gonzalez, but the prime suspect has not been located to date. And finally, former leader of the opposition, Joseph Harmon, has finally decided to officially resign from the National Assembly. Sources in the PNCR yesterday confirmed Harmon's resignation took effect on March 15, 2022. On March 5th, the former MP signaled his intent to resign from Parliament. It was only on March 15th, however, he confirmed his resignation with immediate effect. It was only on January 26, 2022, during the budget debates, that the Speaker of the National Assembly, Manzoor Nadir, announced that Harmon had resigned as leader of the opposition. Last week, when the party held a press conference, Chairman Sherwin Holder said that they had a long list of candidates waiting to replace Harmon in Parliament. And now time for your daily COVID-19 update. The Ministry of Health has reported 12 new cases, which brings the total number of confirmed cases to 63,169. 5 persons are in the COVID-19 ICU and 1,226 deaths. 61,772 persons have since recovered from the virus. And we now turn your attention to page 7 of the Kaieteur News, which is dedicated to being blunt. President Irfan Ali recently told members of the media that his government will be importing thousands of milking cows, which will generate between $5,000 and $7,000 for single mothers. Perhaps that's a good idea, but we at this newspaper believe that the young president should have his government focus more on prudent spending so that the nation does not continue to hemorrhage billions through a slew of infrastructural projects and contracts signed with foreign companies. Government's continued plugging of money into projects such as the Chedijagan International Airport, one of the national milking cows, is a cause for concern. It is high time for President Ali to bring the curtains down on the milking cow campaign. The time has now moved on to 12 hours 15. My name is Amrita Koshal, and this was your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.